In 1942, the Japanese fighter pilot was the samurai of the sky. He flew the Mitsubishi Zero, a machine so agile it felt supernatural, and he fought with a skill that bordered on divine. He was the undisputed master of the Pacific, the ruler of a bloody kingdom built on a 12-to-1 kill ratio. He believed he was invincible. Then, he saw the devil. It appeared first as a rumor, a whisper among battle-hardened veterans, a strange twin-tailed silhouette seen at impossible altitudes. It didn't fight. It didn't engage in the honorable turning duels of aerial combat. It simply appeared, killed, and vanished. This wasn't a plane. It was a ghost, a demon. Soon it had a name, spoken with a mix of terror and awe: the fork-tailed devil. Subscribe for more untold World War II stories. This is the story of how that demon broke the spirit of an empire. For American pilots, the first year of the Pacific War was a slaughter. Their P-39's and P-40's were clumsy and underpowered. To engage a Zero in a turning dogfight was suicide. Japanese pilots were so confident, so utterly dominant, that they saw the sky as their personal playground. They were winning, and they saw no end in sight. But in a Lockheed factory in California, a different kind of weapon was being forged. Designed by the brilliant Kelly Johnson, it broke every rule. Instead of one engine, it had two. Instead of wing-mounted guns that scattered shots, all its firepower, 4 heavy machine guns and a 20mm cannon, was concentrated in the nose, creating a single, focused beam of destruction. It was big, it was heavy, and it was called the P-38 Lightning. When it first arrived in New Guinea in late 1942, Japanese intelligence dismissed it. They thought it was a clumsy reconnaissance plane, too big and heavy to be a real threat. On December 27th, they learned how catastrophically wrong they were. When a formation of Zeros arrived to escort bombers, they were met not by enemy fighters, but by shadows diving from the sun. The P-38's didn't engage. They executed. They screamed down from 25,000 feet, a height the Zeros could barely reach, at speeds that would tear the wings off the Japanese fighters if they tried to follow. They unleashed a torrent of fire from hundreds of yards away, shattering Zeros in a single pass, then used their immense power to climb straight back up into the sun, disappearing before the Japanese pilots even knew what hit them. This wasn't a fight, it was an assassination. The Japanese pilots were stunned. Their entire combat doctrine was useless. The P-38 refused to play their game. It wouldn't turn. It wouldn't dogfight. It fought in a different dimension, the vertical. It was a predator that lived in the realm of altitude and speed, a place where the Zero was a helpless victim. The psychological shock was immense. The samurai of the sky, masters of the elegant turning duel, were being butchered by a brute that fought with dishonorable tactics. Frantic reports flooded back to headquarters. Avoid combat with the fork-tailed devil above 15,000 feet, the orders read. Do not follow in a dive. Disengage immediately. The proudest pilots in the world were being told to run. The climax of this new warfare came on April 18, 1943. U.S. codebreakers had intercepted the flight plan of Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto, the genius behind Pearl Harbor and Japan's most important military leader. He was flying to inspect troops, his route precise. The mission to intercept him was a 435-mile over-water flight, requiring a plane with impossible range and speed. Only one aircraft could do it, the fork-tailed Devil. 16 P-38's flew for over 2 hours at wave-top height, silent and unseen. They arrived at the intercept point with only seconds to spare. Yamamoto's bombers appeared, flanked by Zero escorts. The P-38's pounced. In a flurry of cannon fire, Yamamoto's plane was sent spiraling into the jungle below. Japan's greatest strategic mind was dead, killed by the very weapon his forces could not comprehend. The news shattered Japanese morale. No one was safe. The demon could reach across the ocean and kill their gods. From that day on, the P-38 wasn't just a fighter, it was a psychological weapon. America's top aces, Richard Bong and Thomas Maguire, racked up dozens of kills in their Lightnings, perfecting the art of vertical combat. The legend of the fork-tailed devil grew with every victory, and the spirit of the Japanese pilot withered. The sky was no longer their kingdom. It was the hunting ground of a monster they could not outrun, could not outclimb, and could not kill.